Okay, cool. This should be good now. I think my previous scene just had too much shit going on in the background, so looks like we're finally live. Just pulling up the instructions here. There it is. I should, in all honesty, probably test this NES first. I'm just gonna quickly do that. How do I quickly do this? I don't have any AV cables. I'm gonna assume it works. I know it works. Actually, that's a bad assumption. Give me 1 second. Hey. So, just to confirm, it is working. So just to confirm, it does work actually first try, so it's not a dead NES. I feel much better now. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna put in the blinking light wins, so that's not too big of a problem. But if it didn't work at all, that's a bigger problem. I'm gonna probably see it's a bit messy. This is gonna get a thorough wash because it's not really yellowed or anything. It's just pretty grimy. So good dish and soap water bath along with some Windex and cleaning agent. We'll do it good. It has the whole lid on it and everything. So I'm just gonna pull out my EverDrive because that's Alright, let's get to this thing. I wish I had a better camera setup, but also so I have like more visual space, I'm literally just reusing the lav mics from NASA. What is holding on to it? That's good to hear. It's what is holding on to this thing? Okay, that's 3 out of 6 screws. Aha, this corner screw is still there we go. We'll put that top away. I should actually get a bowl for these screws or something. Actually, no, I don't trust the box. I will just be right back with a bowl. Hold on. Okay, cool. 2, 4, 6. Okay. Gotta get this RF shielding off. do wish I had a better camera setup, but oh well. Okay. Now more screws. Like, I mean, I technically have like a 1080p GoPro that I could use. But the problem is, it's, if I hook it into the data path with HDMI out, it doesn't recognize that the data path can capture like 720 or 1080, so it just stays in 480. So, and I don't have my shit set up with my HDMI to Ethernet adapter, so let's go part by part here. Alright, if two people are good with the cam, then we're good to go. Slide that out. Not even gonna bother with anything with the pin connector. Normally I'd like boil it or something, but you're replacing it anyways. Yeah, there it is. Oh, screw went somewhere. Okay. And now we are just left with this. Which I'm actually going to want to put on this piece of plywood here. Okay, so pay double what lurk is. I mean, it's tempting, but then this means that I can't sell it, so. So this is what we're going to be desoldering here. The PPU. Actually, I can probably bump the exposure down one more. There we go. It's a bit better. So yeah, just that PPU right there. Probably not going to focus. It's, you know, just a webcam. The hardest part about desoldering this is there's a lot of pins that are connected to ground, so it takes a lot of heat. So that's what I got this for. I'm not fancy to have Eco 808 or something, so I just got this really big plunger, which you can probably hear. Like, that's a lot of air that it takes, so pump the exposure back up. There we go. Yeah, so gotta first start off by desoldering that. Pay me $250 to airbrush Lurk's Nest Pink. That is not a bad deal. That is not a bad deal at all. I might consider it. But in case anybody was wondering, I'm just using this soldering iron, basic stand and thing. It's like sold only by some Canadian company called Circuit Test. It does the job, so. Just using a knife tip because I've come to really like the knife tip, so. Let's start with this pin. Actually, what would be a good idea to help? This is really old solder. Actually, I've just got some no clean flux. I'm just going to use on all these pins. Ooh. I'm going to clean it later with rubbing alcohol, but the flux will help that. So let's get to it. Start in the corner here. Okay, that's a good start. Ooh, I don't have a garbage. Into the brass you go. You just want to heat up the pin and then just suck. You're going to be hearing this sound a lot, unfortunately. So. So far, so good, though. Like, this isn't taking too long at all. I'm actually fairly certain that soldering factories in China, where they have to hand solder stuff, they also just use like these things. Because, you know, less power, they're relatively quick to use as well, so. If I had just like a garbage can or something, that would make life a lot easier. It's really like the quick motions, like you just boom, 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 you know, just slam it on the table. Yes, it's a lot of pins. It's actually 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 40 pins. That's why when this mod became super popular, a bunch of people were buying Heiko 808s, the desoldering guns. I am a frugal bastard, and I said, fuck that. Why do that when I can go to my local store and buy one for a lot, buy one of these things for 30 Canadian. Made sense to me. Just some solder I gotta pick off. That's the one thing. Sometimes these things spit out like the dry solder. That's why having a garbage can would be really nice. I'm just gonna use the brass though. Honestly, this is the hard parts of doing a NESRGB mod. It's desoldering the PPU. Once you get past that, the rest is like really easy. Okay, that's the first part there. Just want to like I mean, I do have desoldering braid here. That's not the problem. The problem is just that you really need a lot of force on the ground pins, and I'm not just going to randomly switch up what I'm doing when I reach the ground pins, so... Yeah, okay. I need to do a game like Jason of Game Tech does and get like a X-Acto knife that's really dull. Probably a lot better than using my fingers. I mean, can't actually do that. That's it's fine, whatever. It's just pretty decent to always loosen the pins after, because now if they get caught on the edge, but that won't be a problem. If they'll lift, they'll lift. Now we're on the bottom row, which might be a bit of a pain. I believe it's these pins right here that are the problem. I'm going to start from this side. Yeah. Probably should also clean the chamber of this thing as well. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. Because there's just too much gunk flying on the motherboard. Like it has a lot of solder. I will be right back. I'm just gonna empty this. Cool. All right. There we go. So far, so good. I think I hit the ground pins. Yeah, that one didn't really desolder all that well. We'll just go to the next one. Yeah, these are definitely the ground pins here. They're going to require a little bit extra effort. Where's my protective eyewear? I currently don't have any. What I'm charging you doesn't cover me working with protective eye care. So, alright. Now I'm gonna need my snips, which, whoa. I'm not used to having my soldering iron on the left hand, but I have my my spare mouse pad protective here, and I have it with the microphone clamp here, so it doesn't like wreck my desk and keeps it more sturdy. So I don't have, normally I have that on this side, which this side. So here are my snips. This is where we finish it up with the desoldering braid. That extra pin there. These ones here. So I want to see what this imager link is before I continue. Open URL. Yeah, that's fairly accurate. It's very fairly accurate. Got that. I just need the rest of this. Oh. If anybody wants to donate me a couple bucks so I can buy a blower fan so I don't get these fumes, that would be amazing. I don't know where you donate because I don't do donations, but I'm letting you know. It's another nice part about this knife tip. Because the pins, the reason they take so much heat is because they're all on the ground plane, which means they're all connected. But if I'm hitting multiple pins at once, get to clear them off nicer. Just gonna put on some extra flux and hit it from the other side, just to make sure, because they don't look fully off yet. Okay. Now we have our moment of truth. If this will come out. Actually, I should not be using that. I should be using something thinner. I like it. If only I had shears. That's actually a very basic electronic screwdriver kit. I know they're from China because I actually saw them at Canada Computers today. Let me find a link on Amazon where I got it. This might be a bit tough because my hand is right beside the soldering iron. I mean, that's the same thing, but in a different color. I've had that one, but that's not it. Not it. Ah, here it is. This one. A bit cheaper. I mean, they're all from China, so they get branded differently, but it's that. As you can see, it has like two spludgers, like little screwdrivers, tweezers, squeegee thingy, and flex thingy, and a bunch of bits and stuff. Magnetic bit as well. So it's I've bought 2 or 3. I bought 2. I also got one for Christmas from my brother and his wife. And the one I showed is definitely my most favorite of all the screwdriver kits that I've bought, so. I don't think we're loose enough yet. Yeah, I feel these pins are still holding it in. Yeah, and all these ones are kind of attached to the edges. So let's get fixed up here. I mean, hard to tell. Nah, it still has some solder on there. It's pretty attached tightly. Yeah, for what it is, it's a fairly cheap screwdriver kit, so I like it a lot. It has basically all the bits I need. So come on. I know you soaked up more solder. Oh, that looks much better. One tip with using a desoldering braid that I figured out is you always want to keep it moving, because that way you're least likely to rip pads. So you kind of want to like use it to rub off the solder in a way. Let's see, I'm kind of just striking the pads here. Okay, that got quite a bit of solder still. Let's try this again. Want to be pretty careful with it. No, I think we're good. Don't want to pull it all from one side though, because that will be bad. There we go. That is, and that's it. We've desoldered the PPU right there. So, we have like no malformed pins really. They're all pretty straight. So that's a success, I would say. I'm gonna put the PPU right here now. What's this? This, I wouldn't worry about it. Just in case. Looks like I slightly nicked it, but just to kind of like be safe. Okay, cool. Okay, so now that the PP is desoldered, on to the next part, which is inserting the pin connector, which is this part right here. Comes with a nice block of foam, which I will reuse to keep the PPU safe here. There we go. And just goes in like so. Or at least that's the theory. Okay. Just gonna, while pushing onto it, tack the corner. Make sure you're not actually holding the corner because it gets really freaking hot. Okay, cool. I'm not even gonna bother with the last one. I just gotta solder this in. That's how much solder was used up on that last bit there. As you can see, it was quite a bit, even though the solder sucker took up the brunt of it. Now we just gotta solder all these pins in. It's fairly good to me. Keep going. Want to make sure that the you're getting the pin hot as long with the pad. You get a nice, good joint. Yeah, you can literally see the fumes of the flux. Yeah, that looks good. Normally I have the window open, but it's so freaking hot outside that I would just be bringing in so much heat into the house, it's not worth it. I'm almost out of solder in this tube. I believe I have another tube, so it's nothing to worry about. I generally try to keep a spare. Oh. I'm gonna double check that though, because if I don't have spare and I didn't go to the store today, that's fairly unfortunate. Okay. That looks really good to me. I don't know if you guys can see. I'll probably have to... Oh, where is the angle? Maybe bump down the exposure a slight bit. That's the solder job right there. As you can see, it's all shiny, so we're all good. Oh, that's too much. Other direction. There we go. And now we have the pin connector installed here. Now I'm really worried that I don't have solder. Check the box of stuff. I have my Ross and Core flux. I have another solder wick. Screwdriver kit. Screws. Oh, okay. Ooh. Brand new tube. Okay. I was slightly freaking out there for a second. I could use all the spare solder, but I generally just throw it out because I'm a terrible person. All right. Once that's in, solder 2 strips of round pin headers into the NESRGB board. The best way, not pictured, is to insert the pin headers into the socket on the motherboard, place the NESRGB board on top, and solder in place. That way the pins will be perfectly aligned. Be careful to solder the pins in the correct position. Yeah, okay, so we can put this away. Because we're now actually going to need this stuff. One pin header. 2 pin header. And the NESRGB board itself. Oh, there's no like little rip thing. I literally, okay, there we go. I know I have scissors, they're just in the box over there. And this is the NESRGB board right here. Bring that closer. Yeah. So here's where like all the video output pins are, and here's where we're going to put the these things. They're actually going to go in like so. Actually, no, it's going to be, yeah. This one goes in here. Gotta make sure you put them in correctly, because if you don't, it's really fucking annoying. That one goes in there, I'm fairly certain. Yeah, so they go into here, and that plugs into the NES where we put in that thing. And the PPU kind of just sits itself in here. Yeah. Wait. Yes. Like this? No. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't go all the way down then. Goes in here. Does it? This is why I have the website up, because I've done this like 2 or 3 times, but I still don't trust myself. Okay, so yeah, the PPU goes into this one here, which means that the pin connectors go into where those are. Okay, cool. Are these the same? Yeah, okay, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Let's keep that there. Put this underneath to help it there. I'm just gonna tack the corners on each one. There we go. Nope. There we go. Which Xbox are we talking here? Like 360 or OG Xbox? Also, I accidentally soldered over a hole here, so I just gotta quickly fix that. Ah, the original. Okay, okay. Do people even still like bother with hard mod chips? I guess when you soft mod it, you don't get to actually use burnt games, so... Or is it to load up the dashboard? My Xbox modding knowledge is not that strong, unfortunately. There we go. That hole's been cleared. Ah, okay. Actually, I did, because my brother works at a used game store, and sometimes people bring in broken systems, and sometimes they would, like, bring it in for me to check it out. And, one of the Xbox, there was an original Xbox that got brought in, and, it had an error code, and once I looked up what the error code was, where it was like, that somebody deleted everything off the hard drive on it, and it was missing those OG files, I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna bother fixing this. This person's an idiot. And when I looked up the steps on fixing it, it was like so much effort. I would have had to like soft mod my own Xbox, which I don't have soft modded at the time, and everything else. So, so one thing I noticed here is that, A, that pin needs to be straightened out slightly. And B, my pin headers are not completely, if you look at it, you can probably tell. Maybe not. I'm gonna try. You can see that one's straight and one is kind of like on an angle type deal. It's so blurry. I hate it. You can kind of tell. I'm gonna fix that very quickly before we continue. Yeah, because it's really just that two pins that have to be fixed up, really. Oh, now we're in the opposite direction. Okay. Almost. I think it's actually straight enough now. We can test this though. By trying to, I'm gonna have to flatten these caps. Let's do that right now. So what's this cap? here. I hate having the soldering iron on the left-hand side. I'm right-handed. So I need this capacitor fluxed up. Come on. Okay. Oh, there's like, these legs are so short. How am I supposed to lay them flat? Okay. Okay, I just pushed it in a little bit. We're good. That goes flat, that goes flat. That goes kind of flat. That, this one, which is, these two here. Yeah, the, people do crazy things with old technology that they're not supposed to. So I don't blame them. Okay. Okay, that's probably as safe as I can go. Okay. We got that pretty flat now. Let's, try this now. I don't want to finish the soldering if it's not going to fit, so... Okay. That looks... Yeah, okay, so it goes in fully, so you can pop it out. Yeah. You can finish soldering this in. Because everything's straight or can be straight, so... Alright. See, I did soft mod on Xbox before. The way that I did it was with the Linux live CD method. Since I have an old computer, I had at the time 2 old computers that had IDs, so now I just have one. And flip this the other way so I have an easier time soldering. Sorry, folks. You can still kind of see if I move it like that, maybe. So. Just double checking if my head's gonna be in the way or not. Hello, Chocolate Deluxe. How are you? Yes, I am taking deep breaths, actually. This would be fucking impossible if I didn't. And, I'm working on a NESRGB, mod installation. I think next time I do this, I am gonna put up a PayPal link. Like, I could really use a fan. Okay. I mean, the modification isn't beginner friendly, so to say, because it does involve desoldering a somewhat annoying part. So okay, there's like no way I can use this last bit of solder. So we're just gonna chuck it and open up this new tube of MG Chemicals 6337 Rosen core solder. 22 gauge. Do I do this as a service? I would like to do it as a service. That would be pretty sweet. But currently, I just do it for like people I know. But considering I'm jobless at the moment, I have heavily debated just doing mod work like this. The problem generally involves with capital to buy and purchase the kits. And consoles if you plan on doing them, like pre-modded consoles. I'm not sure how it works if you're submitting your own. If you like, yeah, I think you generally do prepay. So I mean, it might be viable. What does a kit cost? It costs like 100 Australian dollars, but that doesn't. It's not the only part of the installation, really. Most people like having a specific AV connector. Like this. This is a Super Nintendo AV connector that's 3D printed, and you need the PCB on it as well. I also have this one that I 3D printed from the library, so, you know. There's generally extra costs involved as well. Plus labor, because nobody's gonna do this for minimum wage in any country, except maybe the Chinese. Okay. There we go. Now gotta do the PPU. Make sure I did the right ones. I did the right ones. Okay. Okay, so yeah, now we solder the PPU in. Are you M1 Iceless? I don't know what game M1 is, unless you mean like Mega Man 1 or something. So I can't really help you there. It's a strictly lurk thing. I don't like the way this like kind of diagonally sits, but whatever. We'll just have to do. No other direction. Oh, Metroid, okay. You can have your NESRGB component as well. That is an option with the kit. Most people generally have the ability to use RGB though. I think in my NES I will actually put in the component kit, but not at the moment. Like, oh, god damn it. And the thing is with component, that doesn't, unless you're using like a video scaler or a CRT, most flat screens don't actually, I don't like this, actually like 240p component, which is what you'd be feeding it. Okay. I'm gonna double check that this actually does what it's supposed to. Yes. Streaming. Okay, so it is actually working. I will test every single pin, but the good part is it is working. Actually, that was a terrible test. I should test on the pins of the IC, of the PPU. Because if it's soldered to the pads, it's probably still beep. Okay. Just doing my sanity checks. Yeah, if you're only dealing with CRTs, then doing component is definitely a nice option. Yes, I am in Canada. Specifically Ontario. In Ontario. Taking breaks between because I don't want to overheat the PPU. It requires a bit of extra heat because there's like not much leg to go on, so by the time the solder flows around like I want it to. Yes, I need more leg, Arctic, more leg. Oh, BC, nice. The complete opposite coast, basically. Actually, I live kind of like in the middle, I guess. So. There exist provinces to the right of me. I actually have to go to the bathroom, so I will be right back. Where to clip this? staying clipped there. Okay, cool. Okay. That looks good. Do the next part here. I realize you guys probably have like the top of my head in the frame. Hopefully you can still see what the hell's going on. Almost done. Okay. All of those look pretty good. You can't really see it, but that's the completed job. Yeah, I really wish I had a better camera, but at least get rid of the bit better. Alright, now just a sanity check to make sure everything is connecting like it's supposed to before we go on to the next step. No, it's too tall. Just keep it from moving, thank you. Okay, that's one side down. I have no idea how I'm going to do the other side. Like that, I guess. Already have our first short. Or not connection anyways. Wow, like none of these are fucking connecting. Huh. Interesting, okay, so 4, 5. We'll just redo 4 and 5 first. That was very annoying in all honesty. And that's also why we sanity check. Because if I didn't check that and then I installed everything else, then I would be like, why the fuck is nothing working? Okay. Just reflowing them all. Okay. Let's try this again. Are you kidding me? Does this have to be like pushed more in or like... And try pushing down on it all while I free flow them. Okay. Let's try again. Damn it. We have 0. Well, maybe a little bit. This is the annoying part. Maybe I could have trimmed the legs, but I mean, even then. This is really annoying. Okay, what pins do I need to do? Focus on anyways. Four, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Problem is, it's hard to undo the soldering of the PPU. I could do it, it's just a mess. Like, interesting. So I detect the PPU if I detect, like, if I touch the pin of the 1, 2, 3, 4. If I'm like touching the pin here, and I touch the pad here, it's fine. But if I touch from here to here, I get nothing. Touching 5, okay. I honestly don't know what to do with this. Clearly the pins have soldered through, because I can detect them. Or continuity check them, I mean. Oh, man. Slightly stumped at the moment. I just don't understand it. Fairly certain I checked that the pins are passing through. So I don't know if it's just maybe the probes then, like... Like, this is pin 4. I get nothing on you. Like any pin I check on this side, it's fine. God damn it, I'm probably gonna have to desolder this out and see what the hell's going on. Man. Something I didn't want to do. Maybe those pins aren't supposed to test continuity-wise. No, they have to pass through. What the hell am I thinking? That works fine. This does not. Like, the pin's right there. We're just gonna continue as is and then see if it works or not, because I have nothing at the moment. I don't want to desolder the whole PPU right now. God damn it, this stupid shit. You've gone in before when I tested you, so go in now. Oh, man. Of course, there was one pin out of alignment. Why wouldn't there be? I just don't get life right now, I think. Almost in. There we go. Oh, come on. Aha. We in there. Fully in there. Okay. The only shame is that there's no easy way to test this at the moment. Well, I don't know if I want to continue. I'm getting tired. Soldering when tired is not a good idea. I think I'll continue this tomorrow in the morning. So this will be part 1 of this. So I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.